What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. The new setup is coming together. I have a brand new camera to look into. You can see my hair's far more finely as I mold and get grays and whites and the dust collecting back here that I should clean more often. But seriously, in this industry, tech is ability, and as I'm able to accumulate that, it equals to being able to do more things with the channel in better quality, and I can't wait to be doing that this year. Thank you guys for investing not only your time to watch these videos, but for those going the extra mile, the Patreon, the people in the live streams especially, and those bothering to use the TCG player link and promo codes. I know some of those are an incentive, but actually getting people to do something as a YouTuber and translate, even when it's free, it's hard to get people to remember that stuff. So thank you for taking that extra time, giving me the ability to improve, and I'm going to be putting that better foot forward as I've been showing, hopefully, a lot more this year. Back to video editing and doing other stuff. That being said, let's get into today's market watch away from the mushy stuff. Lightning Overdrive set description. Something's different than yesterday. Weird. Diviner of Heralds, the Drytron card. A lot of cards have been pulled back from the set description, and this is somewhat alarming. Does that mean some of these cards will be in other sets, like Dawn of Majesty set description went up, and it could be for there? Personally, my opinion is that they accidentally put it live too early, and they do plan to put it in here, but set content subject to change. Konami can do whatever they want, but likely it started printing, or they're preparing to print at this point. I think it'll end up in there, but we'll have to wait and see, as weird of a move of this pullback from Konami is. Now, speaking of releases, the 2021 Megatins were announced. YBM has these up cheaper than I think you'll see them. For that early gamble, we should see some amazing sets in here, like Rise of the Duelist, Eternity Code, great reprints, and they're levying that aspect of potentially no promos early versus this price. I don't think you'll see Megatins cheaper than this price with code What's Good 5 versus that 174.95. You are actually going to come to a total of, per case, $166.20. This price is really freaking good if you think you're going to be busting Megatins anyways. You think you want to get a case and chase after whatever's in there. The Megatins are a flagship product. I'm hoping that they do something besides piece out support within the tins like they did last year and look to other years past, or what they're doing with Ghosts from the past and include some kind of chase in the Megatins. I'm hoping for it, but at this price and this early, you are still gambling no matter what the price. My suggestion, though, is I don't think you're going to find them cheaper if you know already that you're going to be going in on them. Borreload Savage Dragon has a bit of a buyout here. $23 on the original Ultra Rare, up from market price $15. The Secret Rare is now behind. There's not the most copies of this. One of the best synchros in the game. Dragon Link is popping off right now. It can't be understated what power it is to have an Omni Negate-like card in the game, but there's also more cards than ever that take care of him, like Dark Ruler No More, Forbidden Droplet, which hopefully we get a reprint in the Megatins. But I digress. I think that it's pretty obvious why this Synchro card is going up. It's being played in one of the top meta strategies, and other people use it as well. Speaking of rockets, the structure deck has finally been going up in price. The individual structures are somewhat disappearing and starting to head towards that $20 mark as the singles get pulled for, such as you have your rocket cards from Tracer and Recharger going up towards $3, and this even further, and very, very low on quantities. Actually, are there any of these left? Nope, people bought out the displays of these, so those are gone on splitting up a team for a budget option on that as well. Trap Tricks are up in price, which was in the Lightning Vortex set description. I think we should still see a lot of those cards coming. Sarah has one motivated seller before it jumps pretty aggressively towards, a second one. That's how fast the market changes. Both low feedback, but we see one seller here around $20, another, and then it's $24. This wasn't here when I started Market Watch. I love seeing that kind of aggressiveness. So you have the Trap Tricks Almeris Starlight starting to spike up in price for the first time in a long time. Remember, Rafflesia only has a couple of printings between the Ultimate Rare and these. And then Super Murmillo going up in price. it's pretty good to keep an eye on Traptrix. This is the deck that just seems to keep getting traction somehow. But both of the cards coming out for the deck, they do seem pretty darn good, especially this one in my opinion. You can send a set trap to the graveyard, special summon this from your hand. It is a level 4, so you now have an extender card that helps you go into Xyz or Links. If you control no cards in your spell and trap zone, you can banish this from your graveyard, target a whole normal trap card in your graveyard, set it to the field. So then it replaces that advantage later that you lost. Isn't that pretty nice? And then you have the Link 2 that people are pretty hyped for, 2 insects and or plant monsters, so a little more generic than just Traptrix. But if this Link summon card is unaffected by trap cards, you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When you activate a whole normal trap card resolves, you can set it face down instead of sending it to the graveyard during your end phase. You can target one Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. Again, pretty good for Link 2. I still feel like Sarah's better, but as you continue to, get your advantage on board and extend, definitely not a bad option that opens up even the more Link arrows for you. Sky Strikers, I feel like you guys missed the memo. This didn't get helped on the ban list. Remember that secret rare Ray buyout prismatic from the Megatons? It's already back down towards $3 when it was trying to hold the 8 after the ban list. Yeah, it's falling flat on its face for at least that buyout anyways. But when we go up towards the higher end, Kagari's back bought out, Starlight Rose and Regular Rose, where Ignition Assault is the first set up for reprints and stuff like Ghosts from the Past and Battles of Legends in the Megatons. This is kind of mind-blowing to me. Actually, I haven't checked in on first edition Engage. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with that. Last we checked, it was 30. How's that buyout going? Falling out a little bit, back towards 24. A lot of people looking at the Eternal format with Orcust and Thunder Dragon high-end stuff continuing to go up in price. It's a wild ride watching the Sky Strikers do what they're doing. Call of the Haunted Lost Art had a buyout, and we already have a Troll and Toad. Hey, shout out to the sponsor. 3 of them over here around $12 before it's $20. So this buyout, it's a GOAT format card. It is a nice art of it. Ultra Rare is one of the highest rarities of Call of the Haunted period. And you get the crosses on the graves and that sort of stuff. I do kind of like this version of the card. I've suggested it before in terms of the Lost Art promotion and what I think could go up, especially thanks to GOAT format and other past formats. So not the most surprising thing to see a little run/buyout on it. Nice to see motivated sellers on the scene fast again. Speaking of motivated sellers, Nobleman of Crossout Secret Rare for GOAT format. This was an easy call that it would be going up in price over time, at least in my opinion. $10 lowest by collector's cash, and then you see 14 and only 9 total sellers, and it's skyrocketing quick. If you want this card, get it sooner than later. If you didn't listen to me before when it was $6, it feels like it's going. Remember, in the Speed Duel Battle City box, you only get the RNG secret rares 5 per box. That means it's really hard to get these secret rares, and this is a rarity upgrade for this card that was sorely lacking for a long time, and there's other great options in here. Maxi Ultimate Rare. This is the biggest shocker to me. It has been bought out, and this card has sat at 400 forever. Now, the foreign copies are at 650, and the English start at 700. This is wild. As other Ultimates were approaching this, my question was, would they pass this, or would it move? And now, it's moving. Other versions of Maxi are starting to move a little, too. The Unlimiteds, there's only one cheap copy on all the market that is near mint, around 54. Yeah, cheap copy, by the way, for Maxi Secrets. The next one is at 6969. Nice. They just wanted me to say that on Market Watch, right? And then you see that continuing up for the Unlimiteds, and very few of them. The first edition is still sitting around 100, so that tells me the first editions, while there's a lot of them, they may start to go. This is close to their meta price back in the day, but how many times do we see ancient cards pass their meta prices? Well, there is one rarity that is ahead. It is now towards 700. I could realistically see this actually going up, especially thanks to past formats and ban list talks. Every ban list rolls around. Could Maxi come to 3? Could it be Maxi? Regardless of that, have Plant format being one of the second most popular past formats behind GOAT, and I think that it's not a bad investment to have secret rare versions of this, but I do feel like if it peeled off the list, you would see high rarity slash hype versions of this enter back to the market perhaps. Speedroid Terratop, we already know Wind is getting a lot of support. Ultimate Rare going once again up in price, $61, quickly $75. Very few sellers on this, so people targeting Wind stuff in general, and then other support that it was announced for the Duelist pack makes a bit of sense. Now, you would think I'm here because of Swords of Revealing Light, right? Well, there's an old, funny, last turn OTK, FTK, whatever you want to call it, where you flip Wall of Revealing Light to get yourself down to the 1,000. Dual Terminal bought out, Dark Revelations bought out. What are you doing? I get that there's very few versions of this card specifically, but this is mind-blowing to see another buyout on this. And then Retro Pack 1 Swords of Revealing Light. We were talking about GOAT format and past formats. Well, this isn't in GOAT format. LOB format does play this, and LOB and good old Beatdown has been getting a little bit of attention, not the most. Here's a French Unlim around 31. This would be kind of the highest rarity besides first edition original base set, and it's not a bad one to go for. A lot of people don't want to play with hobby leagues because of the thickness and stackability. Even if you double sleeve, they're pretty prominent, it feels like. But you have plenty of different super rares between Dark Beginnings, and it's a super memorable card from the show of, yes, a panic, it illuminates the dark monster's hidings. Super Daracrane came up in the Discord today. Somebody told me I suggested this as a penny stonk long ago when it was around 16 cents. He bought 100, he said people laughed at him, and now it's around $2. This is pretty funny. You do see a motivated seller around the $1 though, but then they are all 2+. So talk about penny stonks panning out for somebody. You could probably find some buy list that will actually be paying you way more than that 16 cents you paid in now. But yeah, kind of funny to see a fan favorite come to fruition so much longer that people slept on for a while. And finally, Hard Earth Dragon. Somebody was asking in the Discord about why this card gets bought out. Last I knew, it was generators that initially spiked the price. I don't know a current reason, so if you do in the comment section down below, besides what I'm about to say, feel free to add to the conversation. It's a cover card, it has a Ghost and Ultimate Rare, it's a number for number hunters, and it doesn't have a reprint outside of its original 3 printings, all within one set. So, with all of that, it's just this culmination of number hunting's gotten way more popular. It had a buyout because of a deck that had traction and hype behind it, even though it didn't necessarily pan out of the meta. It was a nice, interesting mix with Guru, and I understand people really like generators. That's about all I can add to that conversation. I don't know why it's getting such rolling buyouts other than speculation slash number hunting. So if you know a better reason than that, big brain theory for this rank 9 that is kind of crazy to watch it do its job within any deck, let me know. That being said, thank you so much for watching today's Market Watch. I love being able to improve this channel. I'll work on the hue. I know it's a little saturated, but I really appreciate the ability to do more and kind of be more within the channel in the future. I'm planning so many different series, planning the video edit, planning individual videos. I haven't had this many ideas in years, if I'm honest. So it's awesome to be just marching in this direction for the channel. Thank you so much, guys.